everybody, EpicSamurott here. Oh, Undertale. What is there to say that hasn't already been said? The epic story, the beautiful soundtrack, the fun battle system, the god-awful fanbase, and of course, the awesome bosses. From the quirky to the hilarious to the unsettling, I love nearly every boss in this game. So why not make a list about it? Please note that there will be some major spoilers. If you haven't yet played Undertale, go play it now. It's only $10 and it's loads of fun. Without further ado, let us begin. You know the game is good when Undyne is only number 10. This crazed fish lady chased you all through a waterfall, and now it's time to battle. Undyne attempts to tell you the backstory of the monsters, but finds it pointless as you're about to die anyway. She then strikes you with her spear, starting the battle. Undyne is the only battle on the pacifist run where you use the green soul mode. In this mode, you must move around a little shield to block Undyne's spears. The goal in this fight is to wait until Undyne makes your heart red again, then run away. Keep doing this until you're into Hotland. Another thing that's pretty funny about this fight is after a few cycles, when you're running away, Papyrus will call you, interrupting you from running away, causing Undyne to start another battle with you. Get through 3 run cycles, and you should be able to spare her. You could kill her, you monster. The reason Undyne is only number 10 is because, while difficult on the first run, it gets way too easy on future runs. Other than that, it's a battle worth remembering. From the crazy fish lady to the crazy spider lady, we have Muffet. So you're making your way through Hotland, and you see Muffet selling spider donuts and cider for an insane amount of gold. Most players skipped buying these since it's nearly impossible to get without hacking. But since you didn't buy anything, Muffet confronts you before you enter the core. Apparently someone offered a very large sum of money for your soul, and being the big greedy spider she is, she wants to kill you for it. Muffet's battle is the only battle in the game where you use the purple soul mode. In this soul mode, your soul is free to move horizontally, but it can confined to 3 horizontal lines when moving vertically. Muffet throws everything she has at you. Your spiders, donuts, croissants, and her crazy muffin spider pet thing. All you have to do is survive 17 turns or use a spider donut or cider to spare Muffet. Overall, it's really fun, albeit a bit easy. Oh lord, this place. So you're walking through the True Lab, looking for Alphys. You check some sinks, and... the first of 5 Amalgamates appears. Yes, there are 5, and all 5 of them are sharing the number 8 spot. The 5 Amalgamates that you can battle are Memory Head, Andogany, Reaper Bird, Lemon Bread, and Snowdrake's mother. The Amalgamates were born when one of Alphys' experiments with determination went horribly wrong. The monsters ended up melting together, creating these abominations. Let's start with Memory Head, since he's guaranteed to be the first one you battle. Memory Head is, in my opinion, the creepiest. Mainly because it looks incredibly creepy, it says, "Come join the fun." And unlike the other Amalgamates, it is incredibly unclear on what melted to create it. It messes with your cell phone signal, and uses a bunch of weird, happy faces to attack you. Next up is Andogany. A bunch of Snowdin's guard dogs melted together. In order to spare it, you have to do the same things you would with Greater Dog. The music in this fight is incredibly unsettling. It's constantly getting faster and faster before turning into a slow version of Dog Song. Have a listen. Next up on our list is Reaper Bird, the strangest of the Amalgamates. Its first attack is having its head eaten by butterflies. Need I say more? yes, I shall. Another one of its attacks is cloning its head and throwing the clones at you. The next amalgamate is lemon bread, which sounds like a baked good. Don't be fooled by its name, though. It can use its giant mouth to crush your soul into little pieces. Lastly, we have Snowdrake's mother. Definitely the saddest of the amalgamates. Constantly during the fight, she is crying for her son. The music certainly doesn't help. In case you didn't notice, it's a slowed down, distorted version of Snowy, one of the most peaceful themes in the game. Don't worry though, the music that plays in the battles with Memory Head, Reaper Bird, and Lemon Bread is awesome. Just have a little listen. What is it, Lemon Bread? Oh, what's that? You're insulted I made fun of your name earlier? Sorry? Welcome to my special home. After leaving the ruins, you meet Sans and his wacky brother Papyrus. Unfortunately, Papyrus wants to capture you so he can become a part of the Royal Guard. He uses a multitude of puzzles to stop you, but to no avail. Sans knows you're going to have to battle Papyrus in the future, so he warns you about his fabled blue attack. You've already faced some bosses with blue attacks, so you know how to stay still to avoid them, right? Wrong! At number 7, we have the Papyrus battle. Papyrus's blue attack is different from the others. Instead, activates Blue Soul Mode. Blue Soul Mode is like a platformer. You move with left and right and press up to jump. Papyrus uses many bone formations to attack you, all of which would be easy to avoid with a red soul, but since you're blue now, they do pose a bit of a challenge. Throughout the whole battle, Papyrus is going on and on about how great he is, and how popular he will be after capturing you, all while saying some of the funniest things out of any bosses. There are 2 ways to spare Papyrus. The first way is to just keep hitting the spare button until he uses a special attack, which got stolen by a dog, so instead he uses a really cool regular attack. The other way to spare him is if you die 3 times, he will literally ask you if you want to fight. Say no, and he won't fight you. Oh, Papyrus, you'll always be my favorite of the Skeller brothers. So you're doing a genocide run, you monster. You're going through Waterfall when Monster Kid confronts you. Of course, Monster Kid can't fight back, so you hit him with full force. Luckily for Monster Kid, Undyne jumps in the way, taking a brutal hit, causing her to die. Or so you thought. The heroine appears. Undyne the Undying is Undyne on steroids. Same style of attacks, but at an insane speed with tricky patterns. Undyne the Undying is the only boss in the genocide run that doesn't die in one hit. Even though you do over 1,000 damage with every decent hit, as she has the highest HP of all monsters. Her attacks can be very tricky to avoid, but that's what makes this battle so fun. The challenge. It is intensely difficult, though not as hard as Sans. It takes pure memorization and reflex to avoid her attacks, and damn is it satisfying when you go through a whole attack without taking damage. And oh lord, the music. seems your journey is finally over. You're filled with determination. Human, it was nice to meet you. Goodbye. Asgore is, in my opinion, the most epic battle in Undertale. Not the best, although it's still incredibly amazing, but the most epic. The battle with the king has been hyped up throughout the entire game, and now it is time. The battle for not only your life, but the entire human race. Asgore starts the battle by destroying the spare button, which means you have to kill him. This is supposed to symbolize that Asgore does not wish for you to show him mercy. He doesn't feel as though he deserves it. He attacks using fire magic and his trident. The fire magic can get quite difficult to avoid at times. During the fight, you can tell that Asgore does not wish to battle you. Throughout the whole battle, he refuses to look at you. He refuses to use his full power on you. He does not want to win. This adds loads of atmosphere to the battle. So does the music, which is one of my favorite songs in all of gaming. This battle will make you go mad. You're walking through the dump when all of a sudden a training dummy comes to life. The mad dummy is probably the funniest fight in the game. The mad dummy is mad in more ways than one. He's constantly shouting at his minions. In order to defeat the mad dummy, you must use the projectiles his minions shoot at you to hit him, as the minions aim at you. Normal attacks will not work. Eventually, he ditches his old minions for new robotic ones, which shoot homing shots. While they are tougher to avoid, they still end up hitting the mad dummy. Then, the funniest part of the fight ensues. No way! These guys are even worse than the other guys! Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? I don't need friends! I've got knives! I'm out of knives. Also, the music is incredibly jazzy. Just have a listen. Mettaton is constantly chasing you throughout Hotland with things like cooking shows of doom, or news reports of death, or dances of demise, but you never actually fight him. Then you reach the end of the core. Mettaton reveals that all these scenarios were actually set up by Alphys to make you seem like a real hero on your journey. Mettaton is sick of this. He locks the entrance to the room you're in and activates a battle, this time ready to kill. The problem is Mettaton is completely invincible. After a few turns, you get a call from Alphys telling you how to beat Mettaton. You turn him around and flip his switch.
Oh, yes.
I have no clue what happened, but now Mettaton looks like he's in an emo boy band. This battle is so much fun. Your goal is to raise the ratings to over 10,000, which is no easy task. Everything you do affects the ratings. Getting hit, acting, even using an item can change them. Mettaton uses a multitude of different attacks, such as sending many Mettatons, trusting that fact fast, using bombs, throwing a disco ball into the mix, and of course, using them legs. On rare occasions, Mettaton will even use his own soul to attack you. Damn, is his soul attack hard to dodge. Another cool feature is that later on in the fight, Mettaton uses a fast forward and a rewind button to make his attacks harder to avoid. After a few turns, Mettaton loses his arms. A few chance later he loses his legs. After losing both, he uses nothing but soul attacks until you reach the ratings goal. After the ratings goal is reached, you get a rather heartwarming moment where Mettaton gets calls from his fans. After finding out how much the underground adores him, Mettaton decides to stay before running out of batteries. Overall, the fight with Mettaton EX is incredibly awesome. The gameplay, the dialogue, and of course, the music. Also, how is Mettaton's dance not a dance in real life yet? Do the Mettaton! Do what I say! At the beginning of the game, you meet Flowey. He seems nice at first, but ends up attempting to kill you. Apart from after the runes and a very well-hidden Easter egg, he doesn't make any more appearances. That is, until the end of the game. So you finally defeat Asgore. You have the option to either spare Asgore or kill him. Assuming you spared him, he begins thanking you before Flowey kills him. After some monologuing, Flowey absorbs the 6 human souls and crashes the game. Load it back up and, things aren't quite right. Instead of seeing your own save, you see Flowey's. Flowey's is love 9,999. For those who don't know, love is an acronym for levels of violence. After loading Flowey's save, you put in a void of nothing. Keep walking straight and you'll find your own save, which Flowey then destroys. And then, oh Lord. Omega Flowey, or Photoshop Flowey as called by the fans, is the final boss of the neutral run. Considering he's nearly a god, he's immensely powerful. He throws everything he has at you, which includes, but is not limited to, ninja stars, flamethrowers, flies, vines, bombs, cactus snakes, a giant beam, fingers for some reason, and good old friendliness pellets. At some points during the fight, he even saves and then reloads, causing an attack to happen twice in a row. After battling for a while, a warning screen with one of the souls will appear, warning Frisk to save them. But since they're still under Flowey's control, they attack you. Each of the souls has a unique attack based on one of the weapons from the game. The first soul uses the toy knife. Many knives are constantly spinning around the screen. Eventually, one of the knives is replaced by an act button, allowing the player to call for help and save the first soul. The second soul uses the tough glove. It sends many rings of tough gloves that are constantly moving in and out, similar to Boo Buddies. Eventually, one of the gloves will be replaced with an act button, allowing the player to call for help and save the second soul. The third soul uses the ballet shoes. It has a line of stars limiting the player's movement. It then sends many ballet shoes that rise up and down. Eventually, one of the shoes is replaced by an act button, allowing the player to call for help and save the third soul. The fourth soul uses the torn notebook. It has a line of books on each side, releasing negative words into the middle of the screen. Eventually, one of the words is replaced by the act button, allowing the player to call for help and save the fourth soul. The fifth soul uses the burnt frying pan. There are 3 frying pans at the top of the screen, constantly causing flames to fall onto the player. Eventually, one of the flames will be replaced with an act button, allowing the player to call for help and save the 5th soul. Lastly, the sixth soul uses the empty gun. It has a gun in the middle of the screen that shoots bullets all over the screen. Eventually, one of the bullets will be replaced by the spare button, allowing the player to call for help and save the sixth and final soul. After saving all the souls, they heal Frisk and go to confront Flowey. And then, that fateful line appears. Flowey's defense dropped to 0. The final phase of the fight has the player constantly avoiding attacks while bringing Flowey's health down to 0. Every once in a while, one of the souls will appear and heal Frisk. After whittling Flowey's health to nothing, you finally ended the evil that is— Oh, you jerk! Flowey reloads his save and kills you over and over and over before surrounding you with friendliness pellets and monologuing. He eventually dares you to call for help. You do, and Flowey has some Skittles. After defeating Flowey, he appears before you in his normal form, but he is seriously injured. You have the choice to spare or kill Flowey. If you spare him, he keeps refusing. He tells you that he'll kill everyone you love. Eventually, he runs off. He will then tell you how to get the true ending. This fight is perfect. It's epic, it's fun, it's insane, it has great music, the works. What could possibly top it? So you get through the True Lab. You take the elevator up to New Home, and since the elevator down is blocked, you continue onward. So you get to Asgore and... Oh, hey look! It's Toriel! And all of the other major characters? But why? Oh lord. Flowey then pops up surrounding all the main characters with electric vines and trapping Frisk in a tiny action box. He then attempts to kill you, but before he can, the major characters block his friendliness pellets. Then nearly every monster in the underground comes to support Frisk. Big mistake. Flowey absorbs the soul of every monster in the underground, with the exception of Nazdablukes, as well as the 6 human souls. And since the souls of every monster in the underground is equal to 1 human soul... God mode. Asriel Dreemurr is the true final boss of the game, and oh lord is it a doozy. The first phase has Asriel in Super Rainbow Mode. He uses a barrage of powerful, over-the-top attacks that even have names, including Fire Magic, which is exactly what it sounds like, Chaos Buster, which has Asriel shoot loads of bullets, Chaos Saber, which has Asriel slash the attack box with giant swords, Shocker Breaker, which has Asriel strike the attack box with lightning, and Star Blazing, which has numerous stars rain on the player, which then break into smaller stars. During the fight, the player has 2 act commands: Hope, which heals 1 HP and reduces Asriel's attack for a single turn, and Dream, which heals 4 HP and gives Frisk a healing item called a Last Dream. After a few turns, Asriel uses his ultimate attack, Hyper Goner, which has Asriel use a black hole and attempt to absorb Frisk. A lot of debris also comes flying in, which damages Frisk. And then, Asriel shows his true power. Asriel transforms into the god of hyper death. All Frisk can do is struggle, but to no avail. Frisk tries and tries and tries, but they cannot escape the wrath of Asriel Dreemurr, the god of hyper death. You struggle. Nothing happened. You tried to reach your save file. Nothing happened. You tried again to reach your save file. Nothing happened. Seems like saving the game really is impossible. But maybe, with what little power you have left, you can save something else. The Act button gets replaced by a Save button. Your options are to save the 6 main characters: the Skella Brothers, the Dreemurrs, Alphys, and Undyne. They all act as they would before you meet them. Sans is lazy and doesn't see the point in doing anything. Papyrus is obsessed with his goals. Toriel is overprotective. Asgore thinks he must kill to please the monsters. Alphys is depressed because of the events in the True Lab and refuses to tell the truth. And Undyne is a crazed lunatic. All it takes is 3 acts to bring them back to their senses. And then, there is only one person left to save. Long ago, a child fell into the underground. Asriel found them and brought them back to his parents, Asgore and Toriel Dreemurr. Together, they were like a family. You reach out to Asriel in an attempt to save him. Asriel refuses. He doesn't want to kill anyone anymore. He wishes to set things back to when he was alive, him and Kara. After numerous attempts, Asriel blasts you with a giant beam, but your determination to save Asriel keeps you alive. Then, Asriel reverts to his normal form and bursts into tears. He's very sorry for all the trouble he has caused. Asriel tells Frisk that he mistook them for Kara. He absorbed the souls out of desperation to have a soul again. As a flower, he was soulless. He explains that your friends truly do care for you. He could feel it. Asriel then asks for your forgiveness. Assuming you do forgive him, if you don't, you're a monster, Asriel asks, why? Why would you forgive him for doing such a terrible thing? He then uses the last of the soul's power to shatter the barrier. He then tells Frisk he will soon turn back into Flowey. Frisk then hugs Asriel before Asriel tells Frisk he'll do great and asks Frisk to take care of his parents before leaving. The gameplay, the music, and most importantly, the story is what makes Asriel Dreemurr not only my favorite Undertale boss, but one of my favorite bosses ever. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you disagreed with it, leave your opinion in the comments below. As for video plugs today, we have my top 10 water levels in the top left. We also have my cover of the Pokemon theme in the top right. Lastly, we have top 10 moments from Undertale by Wombu in the bottom left. Until next time, this has been EpicSamurott, signing out.